Welcome into the Players Club, presented by Pepsi. The Players Club is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders. And in part by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders, where our passion is your protection. Now for your hosts, London Fletcher, Santana Moss, and Sean Springs.
Playoffs! Welcome into another edition of the Players Club. I'm London Fletcher, Santana Moss, Mr. 8 to the 9, Sean Spring, a.k.a. Bluefoot, a.k.a. Blue. Hey, fellas, we're going into the divisional round of the playoffs for the first time since 2006. Tyler, you was on that team.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with you.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Oh, you on that team too?
Okay.
Well, we I just want to. You was going to just not let you acknowledge the fact that I was your teammate, Tanner?
Hey, you and my teammate. I be forgetting sometimes, man.
Tyler making a lot of plays.
I be forgetting sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 06.
Y'all both was on that team.
06 we had
I kind of carried us, though, so you know what I mean?
Number one pass defense probably in the league. Okay.
Tyler, you start this off. How you feeling?
It's a great feeling, man. Honestly, you know, it's crazy. The pregame show for all you, I'm pretty sure all our viewers on the Players Club watch our pre and post game show on game day. If you don't, check us out.
Tune in.
Pre and post game day live. Me, myself, B. Mitch, Brian Colbert Jr. and your boy 8 to the 9.
Commanders YouTube channel, right?
Commanders YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we have some of the best in the business that's basically helping us out. And Maddie and Kayla Key. But check it. When I tell you this, bro, we had just spoke about it. I say, I'm tired of every time we talk about something, it always date back to what we did.
Right.
It's time for these guys to rewrite this, this history, man, and put themselves in, in the book. So it was great just to see them go out there and handle business, man. I said it when we came into the stadium. The Tampa staff, the workers was basically already writing us off. Like, hey, man, how y'all doing? Well, we saw y'all earlier this season. Y'all ready to be going home, going fishing? Like, bro,
they was talking junk.
They was talking smack, man. They was asking us who they play next week. We like, who y'all play next week? What you talking about? So, me, I'm one of those guys, man. I'm like, hey, you know what? They overly confident, man. So I hope our guys go out here and stick it to them. But they did just that. And I mean, not only did they play well, it's the fans. The way people in that, bro, if you had to be there. Oh, yeah. Like, the way them people, they packed them. On our side of the ball, you saw nothing but.
Side of the field.
Our side of the field, you saw nothing but burgundy and gold.
I love that.
Burgundy and everywhere.
It was hype.
Man, electric.
Tanner, you didn't come out Saturday night.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, boy, I'm a man of the people. I'm out of the
I was under the weather
I saw the rally. I didn't go to the rally. I was tempted to go.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I go to the rally.
You should have blessed him with the big Fletch presence.
I almost blessed the people at the rally because I haven't been in any this year.
Be Miss took care of y'all. Be Miss said enough for all of us.
I almost went, but I was like, man, I might not ever get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to a little spot not too far from the hotel. Ton of Commander fans over there. So the fans, man, they've been showing up.
Shout out.
I know a lot of people already booked flights to go to Detroit. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Blue, as far as you watched the game on TV. And what are you feeling with us, making it to the second round?
I was,
divisional round?
I did pregame, but just on the way home, listened to the radio. We stopped at the grocery store to get a little snacks or something before you go in, and man, it was just like everything. The whole community, everything has changed. You like everybody in there, the jerseys on, everybody's ready, like getting set to go, man. So I can't even imagine what it was like being down in Tampa. But I mean, the feeling, man, I can't tell you how proud I was. I know that plane ride for those guys had to feel all the way back had to be great.
I can imagine.
I was just cheesing, man, like, not only were we here, we won.
Yeah.
And we talk about that. It's a good feeling, man. It's exciting, man.
And not only did we win, just how we won.
Yeah.
That offense, looking at week one and then last week, the playoff game, the growth. Obviously, Jaden, his growth. And then the offense. And this team as a whole. How was Jaden them going to handle the blitz? What I love, Tanner, the first first third down play, 3rd and 4. Tampa Bay want to bring pressure or whatever they do, they did, or potentially bring pressure. Go up shot on them, go down, go up top on them, let them know.
Back off.
We're not here to dink and dunk and just pick up a first down. We taking shots down the field.
Attack.
Not only that, too, the defense, man. You know, when they went down, when they asked for the ball first, that's when I thought it was.
I love that.
That's where y'all at with it.
That's how you feel.
And then to get out there on the field and our defense help them to a field goal, I say, it's that type of game.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I think the thing that stood out the most to me is just if you remember week 1. Our defense was getting their hands on Baker.
Yep.
They just couldn't bring him down.
Yep.
So he made play after play for that offense just with his legs. So the first thing I said going into that game, I'm like, bro, I need to see a performance from our defense like we did up in Arizona against Kyler Murray. I think that we played him better than anybody had played him up to that point. And they did just that, man. They made Baker stay in that pocket. Now, don't get me wrong. Him and that boy Mike Evans was willing and dealing at that moment.
They were.
But we made a key adjustment halftime and said, okay, you know what? We got caught up into the hype. You know, we blame ourselves for that. We allowed y'all to get us all bunched up into this whole rivalry with Mike Evans and my man Lattimore. We gonna change that because this is not me. This is not like that. What Joe Wooden Jr. said. This is not like I. Let me go out here and put these guys in defense and let our defense go out there and play well. And I love that adjustment and I love what they did because then you saw a stop to whatever Mike was doing. We ain't hear about Mike no more that second half.
So getting into the defense, and I don't know if we want to do this later in the game. We do right now. We got
a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, we're going to give a dubs a week, but real quick, adjustments made. I thought defensively, first and foremost, the way they played the run
was great.
Especially early in that game.
It was excellent.
Like first half, Bucky Irvin, he didn't really make a major impact. He broke some runs off in the second half, but the emphasis and how the way they attacked the run. Bobby Wagner set the tone. First play, play that they had.
Dream catcher.
Wow. Come up in there, hit him. It was an outstanding game, man. Outstanding game plan. Get back to the fans. So I'm flying out. I had an early flight Monday morning, and I go into one of the lounges at the airport. I'm not going to shout them out unless they
accommodate you the right way.
Right. Yeah, they take care of me, but they ain't a sponsor of the Players Club.
Right, that's right.
So I'm in there, I'm sitting, I got my back to 3 older gentlemen, and you could tell they've been fans of this team probably since the 50s and 60s.
Wow. Love that.
No, let's call it 60s, 70s. So they were older gentlemen, and the pride that they spoke with, and they didn't even know I was in there and who I was. And they having their conversation, they talk about the game, talk about the old times, talk about Jay, they talk about, they talked about Bobby Wagner, they talked about somebody, they even mentioned me. And it's like, London, you had all those Tiger Hunter. They were talking about Bobby and I. They were just talking about how the guys played and Dan Quinn and all that. And so they had a conversation. When it's time to leave, I finally say something to the guys. I was like, man, you and I, and they was also talking about golf. So I was like, y'all guys, we share 2 things in common, love for golf and a love for the Commanders. And I point to my hat. And I was like, yeah, man, London Fletcher. Dude, like, oh, God.
Yeah, love that for him, right?
It's like, dude, can we take a picture with you just made all day? And it was just a beautiful thing, man.
That's good, man.
Yeah. But Tanner, you mentioned it. Blue, you mentioned Dubs of the Week.
Yeah, that time.
It's time to hand out some Dubs of the Week. We're going to get some ice.
Yeah.
Chain at some point eventually.
Put a little ice in that thing.
Hey, jewelry store. Why don't we get a jewelry company sponsor us?
Yeah. Put some diamonds
on
that.
The iced out W.
Yeah.
I will rock that thing. So, Blue, start with you. Well, who you going to give your dub or dubs to from that ball game?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I had Dyami because I just think he's been hot over the last 3 weeks or last month. He's been making some plays. But it sounds like, man, we know how hard it is to go on the road and win. In any stadium. And the fans was against us. But it sounds like Dub of the Week, we need to give a shout out to our fan base for traveling. And because people who you see it on TV and you know it's loud in the stadium, but when you have to be in that hostile environment and knowing that you got that burgundy, like you said, that burgundy and gold behind you, that makes a huge difference for guys, man. That makes a huge difference. So my dub of the week gonna have to go to the fans. Hey, keep up the good work. All y'all out there listening, hit the road, go to Detroit. You're going to get a ticket. If you ain't any ticket, just be out there. Just be out there supporting our team, man, because going on, we can make a run, but we need the support. Yeah. So my double of the week going to the fans, man.
Yeah, I mean, man, look, it was a lot of people to me that stood out in the game, defensively, offensively. Yeah. I could easily pick any receiver that, had an integral role in Dyami or Terry. And then, we could talk about JD5. I feel like we talk about him week in and week out. But I'm going to go on a limb. And I'm not sure how many times we mentioned our special teams, but I got to give it to the kicker. But I got to give him the dub of the week. I think, he had 3 field goals he made that game? Yeah. That's clutch,
the first one, 52 yards.
Yeah, first one, 50-some yards, down the pike. Second one, down the pike. The third one, I was questioning where we went at with the ball, and he still got it in there. That's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Well, they ask him. You ask him.
You have to ask. You have to ask.
Which hash you want.
So honestly, man, you got to think about it. There were times in the game where I was scratching my head why we didn't go for the field goal, but you never could question Dan Quinn and his decision making. But man, you got to give this man a shout out because I've been in a playoff game back in 2004 before I even became a Redskin. I was with the Jets, and we was in Pittsburgh, taking it to the Steelers. And we was up at one point in time in the game and ended up losing that game late in the game because we missed 3 field goals.
Wow. Really? Y'all missed 3?
Missed 3 to win the game.
Wow.
So if we make one of those field goals, we win the game.
Y'all in the AFC
and we in the AFC Championship game. Possibly that was our best shot to go to the Super Bowl that year. And I end up here the year after that. And had a punt return in that game too for a touchdown. So knowing how critical those playoff games are and being in a situation where special teams play a significant role to see our kicker come up big, he get my dub of the week.
Hey, Chad, I don't know where you were in the press box when that kicked?
Yeah. No, I was in the tunnel, actually.
You was in the tunnel. So we're up in the booth, and I know y'all seen a lot of people seen the
viral. We seen the clips.
We seen you kicking, man.
Hey, man, I got to kick in that
Cuban
door.
London Jr.
I threw 14 punches.
14
I should have threw 19.
Yeah. I'm just glad you're here, Brand, man.
Hey.
So listen, if on the call, we couldn't tell.
Did he make it or not?
And we didn't know it hit the upright.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, man, why is the officials taking so long to say whether it's good or not? Because from our view, we're not watching the TV copy of it.
You're watching the game.
We're watching the live, and so we're just looking to wait and see what whether it's good or a miss. And like, why are they taking so long? We didn't find out about the doink afterwards, man. But hey, the way our season been going this year,
yes,
it was destiny for us to make that field goal, man.
We won games this year in all different ways that you can name possible,
right.
And to put the icing on the cake of our first playoff win in 20 years with us hitting the goalpost and going in on the road in a pressure moment like that with a kicker that's pretty. This is not his first rodeo, but this is not a place where he's been before. He hadn't been in a situation like that. So, man, it was extremely one of those games, man.
Yeah. All right, it's time for me to hand out my dub or dubs of the week. I'm gonna just give one. I'm JD5, man.
Yeah,
the kid, man. For him,
could we just give it out to him every week? So we just
you could. It's like when
a standing dub of the week.
When Jordan was playing, he was MVP of the league every year. They gave Barkley one. It's like sometimes you get a little like, all right, let's just switch it up. But Jaden has to get dub of the week. Mm-hmm. The way he operated, he was shredding that Tampa Bay defense so bad that they stopped blitzing him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The Bucs normally they had got to the point where they were the second. They blitzed the second most out of anybody in the league. Second behind.
And we saw the first game how they came out.
And even the first game. Since week 12, on 3rd and 4th downs, they was blitzing at like 60%, 66% of the time. Like they were
coming. They're coming.
Man, they stopped blitzing, rushing 3. They had basically 2 spies on Jay. Jay, he literally
that's respect, bro.
On the 3rd and 6th play where he hits Dyami for 21 yards. They only rushed 3.
Yeah.
They had that much respect, like we ain't gonna go out there. So he had time against a 3-man rush. And the growth that he showed from week 1 to Sunday night the 5-yard speed outs
Oh,
that he didn't pull the trigger on in the first game.
Yeah.
He threw a couple of those to Terry.
Yep.
He stood in the pocket. He stayed when he scrambled, kept his eyes down the field. Hit Dyami on the deep ball. Hit Zach Ertz on the ball.
Yep.
I mean, just it was
4th
one
and
time
6 to Zach Ertz.
What's that? Yeah,
4th and 6.
exactly.
On cross to the earth.
Yep, and then the touchdown to Terry.
Yep.
He was about to take off and run, and he's like, came back, threw a dart. So, man, just
In a window.
the way and then obviously the third one at the end of the game where he converts,
Yep.
puts us in a position where we can run the clock down, kick the game, win the field goal. Man, he balled out in this. For him to be doing this as a rookie, 0 punts, 0 turnovers. He tied Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks in NFL history in a role playoff game to have lead the offense with 0 punts and 0 turnovers.
In a win.
Peyton Manning, man.
That's a pretty good name. When you start being associated with Peyton Manning, you're doing some things right.
Here's another one. Daniel Jones, he joined Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez, and Russell Wilson as the only quarterbacks to win their first role playoff start as rookies. So he's doing that. And then we got to shout out Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Became the first Washington head coach to win a playoff game for the franchise since a role playoff game for the franchise since Hall of Famer Joe Gibbs. And actually, he's the first head coach to win a playoff game for the franchise since Joe Gibbs in 2005. All in the first year, man.
Yeah. That's incredible, man. We said each week, man, like you got to pinch yourself, like that. You couldn't dream this up. You couldn't dream this up.
I mean, even especially at that one part of the season where we had a little lull area where 3 games skid.
Yeah, we were banged up when Philly, Pittsburgh.
I understand that, and that's what we were trying to say as players. Like we've all experienced that time where we had those games where it's just the team beat up. You might have a player or two that's key at what we do. They may be beat up, and we knew that with Jaden. Had the ribs issues. He was short hopping things at time. We knew it was, it was the ribs playing a key role in that. And what I said, man, I've been on teams where we won 4 in a row. We won 5 in a row to get in the postseason.
We won
6 in a row now.
7 in a row. We won 7 in a row to make it in 2012.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. So I've been on those teams where I saw the same kind of output, and just to see this team go 5 in a row to get to the postseason. Now they won 6 in a row. If you add the postseason game, that's special, and it's all been done led by a rookie quarterback. So man, it's special. And I mean, and you can't get enough of hearing people. Be enamored with what they see him doing, because you get caught up in the whole hype of what this game has brought to the African-American quarterback and say, well, these guys are who they are because of their legs, what they do with their legs, what they do outside the pocket. He's showing you that, hey, I can do all that. I'm special. Especially when I got to get outside that pocket. But boy, I can will and deal it with his arm too,
Let me ask you something. When does a guy officially not become a rookie?
4 games next year.
Yeah,
well, 4 games.
You got
second season.
Because there's some career.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some guys that play above the rookie status their first year, but I think
you talking about
like when do we look at?
He's talking about from a not a literal standpoint,
like from like when you look at
it depends. It depends on how they come in and how they play.
Because now quarterbacks come with 55, almost 60 college games.
So, and then you got some guys who've been in the league a long time. They still rookies because they still haven't matured enough.
No, I was just saying.
Smooth's still a rookie. But
so when do we stop saying he's a rookie?
I mean, he's still a rookie because a lot of these things going to be first-time experiences for him.
Right.
Because you got to think about it, and I ain't mean to cut you off.
No,
I want to say this. To me, I'm gonna give him the same grace period they gave me. You know what I mean? My rookie season, which I didn't even have a rookie season because I missed half of that year. I missed the whole year and played the last 4 games, which I was just out there.
Right.
But they say you got a year and 4 games. And the reason why I think they gave us that grace period, because now, say for instance you do play the whole year like Jaden did this year.
Yeah.
Next year, them first 4 or 5 games going to be very critical, because now you're going to see how the whole league adjusts to what you did year 1.
Yeah, good point.
And now what
like
do
what
you
we saw
do?
With Robert, like what we
now,
saw with
now
Robert.
what we're going to do with you is allow you that grace period, because you're not going to expect the drastic change in how they play you, but we're going to give you time to say, All right, you saw it week 1. You saw it week 2. How can you change or show us that you're taking what being seen or given and changing your game or adapting your game to how they playing you? So that's why I say a year and 4 games, because now next year that's the first thing we're going to say. How do Jaden adjust coming off of that?
Teams have had a whole year to
these teams studies you. They're going to basically know what the pros and the cons of your game, and then now they're going to attack. And so I'm going to have to give them that grace period. But if you want to say what he's played like this year, you definitely haven't played like one.
He had to play like a rookie. Tanner, I'm about to take this dub off, man, because we got to switch gears.
Yeah, it's drive time, baby. Jump in. Y'all boy ready?
Yeah.
I'm a left hand this thing.
What you drive? You drive a caddy?
Hey, boy.
What you driving?
Gotta drive a Lac, man. You going to the Motor City, baby. Yeah. Lacs and Fords.
It's time for Drive Time, presented by Eastern Automotive Group. Any car, any way, for everyone. Since 1988.
All right, fellas, y'all know what time it is. Drive time. And guess what? You already mentioned it, man. We talked about, the last time we won a playoff game was 2005 and 6 season. We actually won it in 2006. It was against the same team, Tampa Bay Bucks, on the road. Kind of in the same fashion. That game was a 17-10 game, and it was won on defense. Sean Taylor, we had actually 3 turnovers that game, I believe, and Sean capped it off with a touchdown.
When he picked up and ran it back,
just give me your whole, when it comes to, what was the feeling? I'm going to put it like this, because all has been in them situations of winning a game going to the second round. As a player, what is that feeling like? We just talked about how we felt about it, watching it and being a part of it from the seat we're in now. What is the feeling as a player knowing that, hey, we just went and won our first round of the playoffs and we're going to see whoever's next in the second round?
Well, you should have started with Blue, because when
we know.
Let me start.
We know. So let me look over here. I'm not even gonna get into that.
Why can't
I put up the barrier.
The Super Bowl.
Let's put up this barrier.
There's a caveat to this.
You know what, man? It's that sense of, all right, you first is getting into the playoffs, then you won. But then you start to get into the second round, and our possibility is like, we can do this thing. So the team starts to get a little more confidence, but you also know that the competition and who you're going to face is going to be much better.
Yeah.
We saw a few blowouts in week 1 of the playoffs, and it's always like that around the league.
Yeah.
Week 2, the team you playing is either won a division or they're nice. Right? So for me, it was just like, more and more locked in. Now, I only went to the second round, and the next guy that's going to talk going to tell you how it escalates.
Well, I'm going to jump in front of him because I don't want to hear what he got to say to Lag. I'm going to save it for Lag. He's a Super Bowl champion, so rightfully so. I got to get a champ. I got to get a champ.
Like we said before on the show, that it feels good. Your family feels good. Everything is just escalates a little more, man.
Yeah, it's special. I'm going to be real. I'm going to put that in context. It's special. Because one, as players, you take it for granted. You think you're going to see this all the time.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
And as a young buck in New York, I went to the playoffs. Like I said, my first year, I didn't even play. And we went to the playoffs that year. And by that time, I was healthy enough to put on a uniform. So they throwing me out there in the game. And I'm like, man, I'm not ready to be out here.
But to your point, we had that 05 team. We thought we was going to come back and have a really
That's
good
what I'm saying. So you can't take it for granted.
So that was the first year you came, right?
No, he came in 07.
No, they had to come in. They brought me in here to clean up that mess.
Don't even see me. We didn't want to hear all that. But
that mess that was 06 of that defense.
Just to get to my point, man, it's special, man, because like I said before, as players, man, there's a lot of guys don't see the playoffs until late in their career. Yeah. And there's a guy or two on this team that just their first rodeo. This is their first rodeo, and they've been in the league, beyond 5 years. So when I first got that experience of winning a playoff game was year 2 for me. It was my first real year of playing. We actually played at home. So I got a chance to play at home. I was in New York. And we got a chance to play against the mighty Colts. I mean, Peyton them was running. They was hitting on all cylinders. They had, my man Reggie Wayne from my college out there, my classmate. They had Edrin James in the backfield. They had Harrison out there, and they had Peyton at quarterback. And you name it, Dallas Clark and the crew. So to beat them at home and then to say we going to the second round, bro, like it was like one of those things. Like when Tanner back in them days, I just looked at it as a regular game.
Right.
I didn't know how meaningful it was. And until we went and faced who we faced in the second round, and I believe it was Oakland. We went to Oakland and lost that game. and we lost it barely. You know, it wasn't like they just, you know, we
it was close.
It was a close game, but
Yeah.
when I left the game, that's when I really realized, man, I took this lightly because now it's time to go home.
Yeah, Oakland lost to the Patriots in the
probably lost to. What year was it? What year?
That was 2002.
They probably lost to the Ravens.
No, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
They won. They won to the Super Bowl.
2002?
They might have won.
And they played the Bucks. They played the Bucks in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they made it to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, so it was just like one of them things, man. Like it was like, man, you know, this team here had gotten to a point that I went to the postseason my first year as a rookie, and then I went to the postseason as a second year, and we won a game. And so I'm saying to myself, well, next year I'm gonna be back. So I can just imagine the guys today. You know, for the guys for the first timers and for the guys who've been here before, man, it's a special thing to do, especially on the road, but to get a win. Now, I'm hoping that they have that mindset, especially for the guys who've been here before, that we don't take this for granted because you don't get the chance to see it, especially, you know, as being Redskins / Commanders, we didn't get a lot of this. And I'm hoping that this new regime has put it in in our culture. Not only are we going to be this way as players and we're going to play this way, but this is what we're going to expect. Playoff wins, playoff bursts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so the reason why I said, you know, say you guys for
There you go.
say me last because for a divisional game, second round game, the only times I played in the divisional game, we had buys. We had first round buys. So I didn't have to, it was like we had already won the first round. So we're the number one seed both times playing in the divisional
I'm starting to see
game.
that flesh, that Snoop we talking about.
Man. That's
I'm starting to see that flesh, that Snoop we talking about.
That's why it's flew
The three other times that I played in the first round of the playoffs, we lost.
Yeah, with us. Once with us, right?
Once with here, and twice on the road. Once with St. Louis, once with
twice here. Twice
here. One home, one on the road, and then St. Louis we lost on the road.
Can
too.
I ask you a question to that point for the fans out there? Like when you need that, you get healthy over that bye. But did you feel like that time off sometimes hurts teams, or
It depends on your team and how you.
Yeah.
We went hard in our week off.
Okay.
Yeah, our week off for practice. So we played the week 18. Well, it was week 16 back then. So we had to win that last game. Even though we won 14 games, we still needed to
win that game
to keep
number one seed,
home field advantage, number one seed.
Because we had like Minnesota.
We had some really competitive practice against each other, ones on ones against ones, good against good. So a lot of teams can get rusty, especially if they kind of don't handle that process right. Either you play poorly or you play outstanding because you're well rested. You rested up. You're playing at home in those cases. But we end up both times we blew out Minnesota, and then I think we beat Green Bay pretty bad the second time. But we handled it the right way. Right. I'm not sure how Detroit's going to handle
That's
it.
Coach Dick Vermeil we talking about? Who was
Dick
that?
Vermeil one year and then Mike Martz. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Lions come out having that bye.
that's what I was wondering.
I'll say this, though, for us, it's almost good that we continue to play because of how hot we are, the momentum that we have.
And we're a young team.
And we're a young team. You think about when we had that bye week, we came back and we played the Cowboys right after the bye.
Yep.
And we didn't play well.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had who did we play before then? Tennessee?
No, we actually won after our bye.
No, we played Tennessee after the bye, right?
Yeah, we played Tennessee
So we
after the
lost
bye.
it. We lost 3 in a row. We lost to Philly, Pitt.
We lost the Cowboys before the
And
bye.
Cowboys.
We won all our games after the bye.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I felt like we didn't play well after that bye. However, that
We
game
started off a little stagnant. I believe we played in New Orleans after the bye.
Okay, yeah. So
remember when we was out there, it
little
was a little
sluggish,
stagnant.
whatever the case may be. So
Yeah, that's right.
You know that piece of it can be. I'm glad that we're continuing to play because we got momentum. We're rolling, staying in that routine.
Yeah, well, speaking of, who we're playing, this time around in the Detroit Lions, they look like, man, I mean, we've been talking about them, at the beginning of the season about them, they're going to be in this situation. And to see that we here, and it's crazy because we was there for the draft, and I remember being in that MGM hotel and listening to some Detroit fans, and a guy, he knew of me. He saw me walking by. Moss, let me take a picture with you. And I took a picture with him. And he say, yeah, man, our Lions win the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
And he was like, y'all pretty tough too, man. Y'all gonna be all right. Y'all gotta get y'all gonna be good too, man. Y'all get a quarterback in there. And I'm like, how this guy knew what he was talking about. But fast forward to today, that's gonna be the matchup, in the second round. And I want to ask you guys, our team facing against the Detroit Lions that seem to be high power. They lost, 2 games this year? Or 1? 2? 2 games.
2 games.
Yeah. 2 games this year.
15-2.
What are some of your fondest memories of facing the Detroit Lions?
Man, I always balled against Detroit. I was, looking at these stats. I got put it at work.
Let us hear your stats. You had 9 games against them.
Yeah, I had safety against them, 3 sacks, 70 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3 pass defenses. I got as many pass defenses as you, Blue. And
three times more.
Hey, it don't matter. It don't matter. But I always enjoyed playing in Detroit.
Yeah.
Seemed like we played against them a lot in Detroit.
Yeah, me too.
Great environment. I mean, I will say this environment, it would be the most hostile that we'll face all season long.
Yeah.
No,
you think
Blue.
so?
Oh,
no, they
trust me on that.
I like Detroit's environment too, but that Philly environment is
no,
tough.
it's the dome.
No, the dome.
That dome. These fans, man, they've been waiting on this.
It also can be quiet though too. So you'll probably hear us if we get a chance to go up there like we've been traveling. Yeah, because we played there a couple of times where when they not doing well, they be in that thing.
You got to make them get quiet. But I would say, man, we shut the Detroit Lions out on a Monday Night Football game. I think that's probably. Yeah. But I also had the closer when I think you scored the punt return
and the receiving touchdown that
so
game.
I had the game.
What year was that? We're talking
07?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Was that
08?
No, that was Shanahan.
08.
That was Zorn. That was with Zorn.
He returned.
It was with Gibbs.
Coach Gibbs.
It was with Gibbs. It was 07.
But when the game that you returned the punt?
That was Coach Gibbs. That was 07.
Gibbs, 07.
Well, I closed out shut the game down by tackling
I love it.
The Hall of Fame receiver, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson.
That was 07.
That was. I wasn't 07. It was after that.
But anyway, man.
It was after that. So that was those are 2 memories.
Well,
a different game.
Here's my thing about Detroit. We always talk about like teams that take on the personality of the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can think of Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Philly, Oakland, Detroit. To your point, Detroit. Yeah, they die hard, man. They rough. Cold Midwestern, Midwestern, angry. I don't really like Detroit because of Michigan. I have some Michigan fans in here, but you're right, man. Like my fondest memories of Detroit is they're gritty. They even when they're not good, they just feel like they're just a little gritty. Will bring a little toughness to it, and I remember us playing up there in 07. That was the year you returned the punt. Yeah. But we were smacking them on defense. Of course,
we played there in 07 too. I don't even remember.
Yeah, we played there in 07.
Because that's
It was a tough game, but we beat them.
It's crazy. I know the year you talking about when I returned the punt. It wasn't 07.
Yeah.
It was with Zorn because we ended up playing Pittsburgh after that. Because I remember
that was 08, 2000.
That was 09.
09. That was 09. We played. I thought we opened up with
it was 08.
Anyway.
It was actually 08. You're right. It was on first year here.
Yeah, that was a game winner. That was the game.
But I played them here at home, right?
No, we played them up there.
Detroit? Yeah, I remember that.
Because we also went up there when you was on the team.
I was on it both times.
Yeah. So you was here still in 08?
Yeah.
Okay, so you was still there then. But see, I played them from the Jet years and here probably like 6 times, total 6 times. And I have some great games against them. Like I actually look forward to going up there and playing them.
You put up some numbers on these boys.
Yeah,
man.
and that, I had that's 4 touchdowns as a Redskin, and I got 1 as a Jet. So I have 5 touchdowns.
166 yards.
Yeah, you ball. Yeah. My numbers weren't that impressive because I never got balls.
Yeah.
Most of the balls went to the other side.
Who was on the other side?
The
smoother car.
I bet all our listeners already know.
I bet you the balls didn't go to me. Fact check that. I'm gonna have to get my guy. Hey, what else you got, Tanner, man?
Nah, but I'm just saying, like I always look forward to playing against those guys. Right. So memories wise, my favorite game was the game I had the 2 touchdowns up there. Had 1 as a receiver, and I remember getting the punt return. I actually got surprised that I was going to be on the punt return that day. Danny Smith hit me like he's chewing on that gun. Tanny, got 1 in you. I'm like, got 1 of what?
Daddy.
I'm on the sideline. I'm just sitting there relaxing. He gonna come get me on. Hey, I need that from you.
Because what we're struggling offensively?
I think it was close. It was a close game. We need a spark. And I get out there. Damn, Devin Thomas, to make matters worse, I get out there for the first time all year, and then I catch the punt, clean. But Devin Thomas and his guy run smack into me. And so I bounced off it, spun out of it, and next thing you know, boy, I started cutting up turf. And I remember running to the end zone. I'm like, I just ran this damn thing back, man. And I got to the sideline. They like,
if I'm not mistaken, it might have been one of my key blocks on the double team.
Boy, get out of here, man.
We might need to fact check that. It might have been a fact check. We might
see this dude,
might need
man.
to fact check.
You can't have no shine.
Everybody throwing out what they did. I might have been holding up for it.
I'm gonna tell you this.
I was holding up for it.
It was Devin Thomas and it was Carlos Rogers out there.
And I was on the other side.
It wasn't it was Devin on one side and Carlos on the other side. So you went on the field.
Okay.
I tell you this.
He was on the sideline cheering.
Me on.
We can 3 and out, man. 3 and out, put the rook in, man.
Nah, but I tell you this, Danny, after that game, I remember Danny's like, we need one of them every game. We need at least one every week. So I'm like, damn, I done set myself.
I done got a job back.
You thought you had graduated from that.
I had been put punt return behind me, review mirror. But no, man, it's just something about playing them guys. And then, I ain't gonna always shine a light on our good moments. But I remember Detroit they had to win a game and they came down to us.
Hey, man, we said good memories. Hey, don't bring that
I'm bringing memories up. I'm bringing memories up. Come on, man. I'm gonna do it the right way, bro. You know what I'm saying? They came down here.
We don't want that juju on this show. I'm not allowing you. Hey,
get out of here, man.
Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next thing, man. It's time for me to set the tone, man.
It's time to set the tone. Brought to you by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders, where our passion is your protection.
Time to set the tone. We got to preview this game against the Detroit Lions. Number 1 seed. We talked about it. Man, that Lions team, they got
special.
They got some dudes, man. Especially on offense. We got a challenge. This probably be the toughest. Philly got weapons too. So
Philly got weapons.
Between Philly and this one, I would say they're probably equally. It's from a challenge.
Because I can look at Gibbs being as special as a Saquon. You know what I mean? It's scary to see what Gibbs been doing to everybody else.
They got receivers too.
Yeah,
both of them outstanding offensive lines. Both of them outstanding offensive lines.
Yeah,
Blue. I'm gonna start with you on this one. How do we slow down this Lions offense?
That's been a challenge that's been keeping a whole bunch of D coordinators up at night. But for me, man, if you're a coordinator, normally say I'm going to stop this guy. I'm St. Brown or Gibbs or David Montgomery, or I'm going to attack the quarterback. I'm going to attack their line. Man, they balanced. This is one of the teams that, they're not only talented, but they're balanced.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not as much as I'm going to stop them. It's a few things that we got to think about. How do we get them to make one mistake or two mistakes? And let's accept the fact they might score, but let's limit those scores in the red zone. We're not going to let them just get over the top, explosive plays, just march down the field. You got to earn it.
Yeah, right.
And in the playoffs, you got to earn it. And then when they get down in the red zone, you got to make them earn it. Can you come away with field goals instead of touchdowns?
Kick field goals,
Man, and you think about Ben Johnson. Shout out to probably everybody's talking about he's the best coordinator in the league right now with the play calling
for the last few years. They said.
And you talk about he's from the Shanahan, but. How patient are they?
I didn't say he's from Shanahan. I said his offense is very similar.
But how patient can it be? Can we make Jared Goff, who's like you talked about, Tanner's a spot thrower? Can we show him different looks? Yeah. Joe Brady, can we show him a too high roll down to a single to get an extra man in the box to maybe stop the run on first down? So I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth with two great coordinators, Joe Witt, Ben Johnson,
right,
and I think it's accepting the fact that they're gonna move the ball up and down the field, but when they get in the red zone, hey, y'all not walking out of here with a touchdown. Y'all let's get you 3 and get off the field.
Yeah, and bend but break. Bend but don't break. Kind of a mentality on defense. I think because it's going to be hard to stop somebody that's so efficient on offense the way they are when it comes to the passing game. 2,000-yard receivers. You got a tight end that caught for over 700, almost 800 yards.
Laporta's amazing, yeah.
You got a running back that, one is 1,400 something.
Jamison Williams can take the top off the defense.
You got another running back that's a bruiser that they get the ball to in the red zone. Like, they have a guy for
and an offensive line that's monster.
And then the offensive line can move the ball. So you got to have that bend but not break mentality. But I think the way you really count on what they do offensively is you sustaining the ball on offense.
Oh, good point.
One of the things we did when we went to Tampa, we had that 17, 19 play drive. You know what I mean? I think it was 17 plays, right?
Yeah.
We talking about coming out of the half.
You had that long drive. You had the 9 minutes something on the clock that you basically, ran, and then you went out there and put up points with it. So you have to have that kind of mentality. Like, look, we got to keep these chains moving. And I'm not against scoring from far out. We can score. We gonna score. Right. Because this is kind of a team that's gonna do the same thing. But I think when you see them not be their best is when you get Jared Goff off balance, when you get him kind of not being himself. And he's a guy that, as well as he's played this year, there's been games. Even when they've won them at the end, but he gave you a chance.
Yeah, but Tanner,
he's gonna put the ball in harm's way.
To clarify though, so you're saying you got to keep their offense off the field. Does that mean? But does that mean you slow it down, or you still stay aggressive to try to score?
You gotta have sustain. You gotta win. You gotta sustain drive, win in time of possession.
I'm not saying you have to just. I'm not saying that we can't hit our explosives when it's time to hit our explosives. If you hit an explosive play and we score on it, so be it. Yeah, but I'm saying when you're sustaining drives, it's moving the chains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By any means possible. This is what we did last week. We moved the chains. We found ways without a run game to move the chains. I want to see our run game kind of play a key part of helping our offense sustain those drives by moving the chains.
I think, Coot, when you look at the Lions in this offense, it's going to be a similar approach like we had against the Philadelphia Eagles, especially when we played them the first time in Philly. They were moving balls between the 20s. You guys are saying the same thing. Hey, make them kick field goals, make them murder. But the difference between Detroit and Philly is they get down in certain parts of the game. It's 4-down territory.
Yeah.
They're extremely aggressive. So you got to win 3rd down and 4th down. That's going to be the mentality. Like you have to play 4 downs against this team and win those downs. Especially you can't have them in a bunch of fourth and 2s, 4th and 1s. You need to have them in some 4th and 5s.
Does that dictate how you think about 3rd down? Versus a typical.
Absolutely.
So explain that what you mean by that.
Well, it actually dictates every down. You got to think about it because you can't give up 7 yards on 1st down.
Oh, it's over.
Not in second and 3, 3rd and 3, 3rd down. They can run it now. So knowing, hey, if we get 1-2 yards, we're gonna still go for the 4th down. So you have to go in there with a mentality. I got to win. I got to be great on 1st down, 2nd down to get them into 3rd and. I would say 6+.
Right.
You got to keep them at 3rd and 6+, and from there, they need to be 4th and 3 or more. Especially as they get on the plus side of the 50 because they're very aggressive.
Do you think that can be backfire on that time? I believe that could backfire on that time.
Well, I also look at it like this too. This offense, and Tanner touched on this. When we were off camera, you talked about how you could see the Kyle Shanahan aspect, the Mike Shanahan aspect of this offense. It starts with the run game. So what am I going to stop? I'm going to stop Jahmyr Gibbs in that run game. I'm going to stop them first. And then, hey, we're going to have to play a little bit man. We're going to have to mix it up. But we're going to have to commit more resources to stopping Gibbs.
But don't show it.
Yeah, you can disguise it. Obviously, you're going to show your shell and then more rotate to safety down in the box, different things. You're going to have your 5-down looks, all those types of things. So you got to mix it up from that standpoint. But it almost have to be the same type of mentality like they had against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, we cannot let this run game get going early, especially when you got an explosive player like Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, he's special. He's special.
Let's get them. Let's stop that run. Get them in 3rd and longers.
What was unique too, and I know we talk about explosive players, but I will say that Jahmyr Gibbs, I like how you compare to Saquon, but I would say Amon St. Brown.
How do we contain him?
Yeah, I was about to say he's one of those guys.
Williams?
But Williams is a deep guy.
He's a deep guy.
Amon St. Brown, I would say this, man. He's one of those guys that
he's a dog.
He moves the chains, bro. Like it's been a while since I seen a guy.
They move him around.
He's Deebo Samuels, man. Like
you know what though? I think him and Marshawn, he's still feeling his way. He missed a lot of time, so he was rusty. I expect him to be a lot better in this game than he was against the
Get his
against
legs
the
up
Bucs.
under him a little better.
It might be a good matchup because of Amon-Ra. He's not a speed guy, more real physical, strong as well.
Yeah.
So it might be a situation where you might start Marshawn out on him, let him get physical with him. They're gonna be a fist
Then they're
fight.
gonna move him inside.
Yeah, so that might be a really good matchup, and you can have even Mikey. Now there might be a strength difference with Mikey because he plays extremely physical.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I think you hit him with a couple different bodies and go from there. You also may not with Jameson Williams. He's gonna run deep. So
Yeah, he's gonna
be.
Yeah.
You got to worry about that, but. Those are guys. They got David Montgomery, the other back. He might be coming back too.
Coming off of MCL.
Yes. Potentially coming back.
He's one of them guys, though. I mean, Montgomery, that's knuckles, right?
I think, I'm looking forward. You talk about that run game and that stretch, and they do that pin and pull a lot.
Yeah.
We got to see Jonathan and the big boys inside. They got to play football.
They got to be disciplined.
The whole defensive front has.
But interior they will.
Yeah.
If you can't have some type of penetration on the inside, Detroit will. They're the type of team that will beat you up all day. They have no problem doing that.
Oh, I like a physical type of battle, man. You done got Big Fletch. You about to bring Big Fletch out, man. I know.
Right.
Let's flip it to our offense versus their defense.
Yeah.
Lions, they give us some yards in the pass.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Aaron Glenn, very aggressive.
Single high, don't disguise it. They know that they're banged up. They don't care. And to your point, Tanner, we were talking earlier, maybe because they know their offense is going to score.
Yeah.
So they're relentless. And, when you think about, I like the guys, the Robertson on the outside.
Arnold Robertson.
Yeah, he's an undersized guy, but you're talking about gritty and tough.
Yeah.
The young first-round corner out of Alabama. They and the safeties.
They have two outstanding safeties.
Joseph got 9 interceptions.
Joseph got 9 interceptions. He's going to be all pro this year.
Branch.
But with all that being said, I think that with their style of playing with Aaron Glenn is play, I think we can take advantage of one, our receivers are hot right now.
Yeah.
2, I like the matchup on Zach Ertz against any of their linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Anzalone is a good cover linebacker.
Yeah, he's good, but I take Zach Ertz. I like the way Zach Ertz.
Oh, no, I'm going to take Zach.
I'm taking Zach. And Jaden. Mm-hmm. That when you play man, your biggest nightmare is a quarterback who can scramble.
Yeah, especially.
And that is scary coming into the game. So it's going to be interesting to see if they go, you know what, we might have to think about it because you start turning your back and you start press coveraging and the quarterback and then you out there playing duck, duck, goose, that'll cause you to want to fight your teammates on the sideline. Yeah. You out there chasing around receivers, all pro receivers for 5 minutes, man. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm assuming Aaron going to do what he do.
Yeah. Aaron going to be creative, man. Yeah. And Aaron Glenn is, to me, it's crazy that he hasn't been a head coach already because I feel like he's been coaching on this level for a while, especially when he was with the Saints, being that D coordinator.
You played AT in the Jets?
Yeah, he was my teammate.
Okay.
And then
you gonna do that man like that on Monday Night Football?
He got me ready, man. He got me ready for that when I was a young pup.
He was the corner.
He followed me around. I was a Jet, man. He said, "I'm gonna get you ready." And I love what he's been doing as a D coordinator, man. So I know he's gonna bring it. You know what I mean? He's gonna be ready for what we got, offensively. And I just feel like, man, we got to, one of the things that I love that Dan Quinn and his staff preaches, it's not about them, it's about us. So when it's all about us, man, we can go out there and do what we do, And I see us kind of, last week it was a struggle to get that run game going. But the little that we did do, it made their defense,
It's a beat Rob game.
I'll tell you this.
This is a beat Rob game for sure.
I'll tell you this about the run game, and you want to have a high yards per carry average and all those types of things. But what's more important is volume, the volume of runs. The reason why, we ran the ball, I think 32 times in that game, even though it didn't have a great lot of yards. But what it does is it makes the defensive front still have to respect it.
Keep them honest.
Keep them honest. If I know you've completely abandoned your run game, now as a defensive end, I'm pinning my ears back. I'm rushing up. I'm getting wide as 3 technique. I'm bringing more pressures. But now you also saw because we stayed to the run so much, there were times on 1st and 10 we were able to get play action passes and we got some chunk plays off the play action shots because of the fact that we were so committed to running the game. It might have been running the ball. It might have been, hey, we only getting 1 yard, getting 2 yards, 3. We did run the ball when we need to, especially at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler got an 8-yard carry on that final.
B-Rob popped it for 4 yards here and there too a couple times. So, just to get back to it, that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as we keep them honest and show them the effort, show them the attempt that we're going to do it, now they don't know what's coming. And then when you have the effect of a Jaden Daniels that can actually get outside that pocket, you know what I mean? That's going to be key too.
And you know what? Running the ball also eats up the clock.
Bingo.
When you pass the ball, you have an incompletion.
Bingo.
Clock on stop. Speaking of completions, the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Our boys have been balling, man. Particularly, we're gonna have Dyami on the show later on today, man. Tanner, what did you see? Actually, you kind of predicted this with Dyami. In pregame.
Well, it wasn't even, and I don't want to make it sound like I predicted him having a good game, but I just like his skill set. You got to have different wideouts. And Dyami has always been our difference maker, but I think at times he just haven't lived up to what they wanted to see from him.
Yeah.
And, sometimes there's guys like a Dyami that, he might be fast, he might can stretch the field, he might have, he might have the catch radius, all that stuff going for him, but just hasn't settled down into the package and accepted his role.
Yep.
And sometimes
that's interesting, man. Because I've learned I've been in the NFL, but accepting your role,
you can't force somebody to be a starter if they're not showing you the maturity that they're ready for that.
But that's hard to do when you come out of
or accepting the role as a
backup guy, third backup guy. But I can tell you like this: I think him having to swallow his pride a little bit and be where he's at today in this offense allowed what I've seen all the while from him to kind of come out a little bit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to be put in your place, and I think Dyami is one of those guys. He's very confident. He's a part of the Bluefoot family. We found out. So
shout out to my
He's
cuz.
very confident. So, but no, at the same time, he's a guy that. And then also, you could just put it like this. Everybody's offense doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? So he was in some offenses that didn't work. So who's to say that him not being a part of the first team wouldn't work in this offense? But I just feel that, that pregame little thing I talked about last week about him, I just basically mentioned saying, man, I believe he's a game changer. I believe he's a guy that if you give him a chance, he can do some special things with the ball in his hand. And I kind of praise the fact that, when you look at his targets this year, although a lot of them were slip screens, he caught 30 or 40, you know what I mean? And then you add that game, a few more, 5 more. So that stood out to me that this guy has accepted anything and everything that they gave him this year and been that guy for us at times. I mean, he made some key first downs this entire season and a key touchdown for us in a critical game. So that's what I saw. And then not to say that was going to carry over into that playoff game, but it just did that. It did just that. And,
now, you mentioned, 3rd and 6 play where got to have it. We got the ball and got the ball with on that drive, our game-winning drive. It's 3rd and 6 and it's probably still maybe 3 minutes and over 3 minutes left on the clock.
It was close to almost 4 minutes left, right?
Yeah. No, when we first got the ball, we got the ball with 4:41.
Right.
But after we ran our first couple plays, it was getting on that 3rd down. It was getting close to around a 3-minute mark.
Right.
Critical 3rd and 6, and they go to Dyami.
Yeah.
I mean, Terry served as a clear out.
Right.
Dyami was the primary target on that. He catches a dig for 21 yards. And gets us to the 45-yard line on the Buccaneers. So to get your number called in that motion, in that standpoint, that junction of the game, that's big for him. I'll say this about this team, and it starts with Dan Quinn, and what I love about this football team, and it's all about the mantra of anybody, anywhere, anytime. And what he has done is he's given this team a belief and a confidence that they feel like they can go anywhere and win a game. And it's been evident. And they can win any game in any style, in any fashion. You don't have the wins that we've had the last 5 weeks where all of them have come down to the final play of the game without a great confidence in, we're going to do this is what's going to happen, and and we're going to win the game. But it starts with the preparation.
Yep.
I'm confident because I'm prepared.
Yeah.
That's how those guys are. They prepare for these situations. They prepare for these scenarios, and they'll be prepared to go into Detroit and win a ball game on Saturday night. Welcome back to the Players Club. As promised, we got Dyami Brown joining us. Dyami, we appreciate you joining us, man.
Welcome.
This is your Ice Cold Player, brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders.
Wild card weekend, game against Tampa Bay, had a touchdown, a couple big other games. What was it like for you to have what was your best game of the season in a critical playoff game like that?
Oh man, first I'm grateful just to be out there and have the opportunity. Not too many people can even get the opportunity to play in that type of game. You know, the previous years we haven't been there.
Yeah.
You know, so just being grateful for the opportunity. But at the end of the day, you know, like the mentality was different. You know, so that was pretty much what it was.
Well, I want to put us out here because it was crazy that I actually got a chance to talk about the receivers in our pregame show, and I mentioned you, and I spoke highly of you, and I think a BC or somebody BC was like, "Damn, Tan, you feel confident about Dyami?" I said, "No, I believe he's a game changer. I believe you're a playmaker, and I love the role that they kind of had for you this year. I feel like you exceeded, you know what I mean, in that role well. But I want to ask you, what was it like, or what is it like when you get an opportunity to go out there and not only just come in and do your thing for a couple of plays, but to have more of a role? Because it seemed to me at one point in that game, they was like, "Nah, don't come out. You hot right now. Stay
Yeah. Like for me, it was just basically just, man, them trusting me like that.
Yeah.
You know, just for them to be like, okay, you got it. And for me, it was like accepting that role, you know, and it was kind of hard, you know, kind of accepting what it was at first. But at the end of the day, just that opportunity given, you know, with the role that they given me. Like at first it was a couple screens. And I'm like, man, look, I ain't really trying to keep running screens, but you feel what I'm saying? But like just accepting it, you know, and not trying to have a negative mindset about it. It was just always accepting that role because you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And we talk about the staff, obviously, DQ coming in, and we talk about the defensive line coach with Bobby Ingram was my teammate in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
What did you learn from my boy B.E.?
Oh, man.
How's he been a help to your game and help you shape your game?
Oh, man, really just not changing me. You know, just he found out what my strengths were and just helping me build off that, like being quick, being explosive, and then being strong as the way I am. You know, and those type of things, being in that physical game, being a physical player, you know, those are things that help me out.
I was thinking about this, and a lot has been. It was a lot of highlight plays that took point that people will talk about in years down the road about the game against Tampa Bay. The biggest play, I think, 3rd and 6, gotta have it moment, and you hit a play call, and you know you're the primary on that. That you run that deep 20-yard dig route. That when you heard that play call, like, and they knew, hey, in the most important play of the game, they're going to you. How did you feel about that, man?
Man, look, I don't let nothing get too high.
Yeah.
You know, I don't let the moment get too big, and at that point, it's just play the play.
Yeah.
You know, because if it's called for me, it's called for me. And just go out there and make that play. And it was a big 3rd down, something that we needed, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, I always want to go out there and be poised.
Yeah.
You know, be controlled, be balanced. I don't want to go out there and, oh, man, tense up and stuff like
Too
that.
tight,
But
can't be.
I
Gotta play
don't
loose,
want to be
right?
like that. I just want to go out there and play, and that's it.
You said something about being poised, and you know that's something that I think we talked about all year about just watching, as Fred called him, Jedi 5.
Oh yeah, that's my guy right there.
What has it been like, man? I mean, he's wilding all us when it comes to just not only his play, his maturity, you know what I mean, his confidence, his will. You know, what has it been like for you as a player to be in that huddle, or not only be in the huddle, but to have this experience this year with a young quarterback, a young phenom like Jaden Daniels?
Man, it's a blessing, you know, and how he carrying himself is, I'm not no rookie.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he wants to be the guy. He want the ball at the end. He want to finish. The things that he want to do is what's making him great right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And just being a part of that, the energy feed off.
Right.
That's something that we do that every day. We're going to finish. We're going to be the one. We want to be the one. That's
The
the biggest
moment's never
difference.
too big. Gonna make a play at the end.
Yeah,
Expect it.
that's what we want to do.
So is it safe to say that basically he's lift up everybody's basically energy, and not only energy but just confidence in what they can go out there and do together?
Oh man, you said it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's different, and you can see it in everybody's face.
Mm-hmm.
When he back there and he commanding.
Mm-hmm. Y'all ready? Go
Wow.
down.
Right.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And when we all we talk about it, like you guys talk about, I got two things. You just brought up something. One is obviously you was in the game, the first game against Tampa, and then you seen Jaden's maturity towards the last game y'all just played. So you seen how he's developing, how coach feel comfortable in calling the plays.
Right.
And the second thing is the brotherhood, man. We always been talking about it with Terry and the brotherhood, man. So talk to us about like one, how you've seen the offense kind of develop, and then y'all trust each other and the brotherhood y'all have.
Oh man, speaking on that first game, like I told Terry, like, man, don't even trip. Cause it was like a low target game for everybody. And it wasn't really, I said, man, he's still learning right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And what he fell back on was his legs. That's what he trusted at the time.
Right.
And that's fine. I'd rather have it early on than later on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and then us communicating with him, the things that we see, the things that he see, that brotherhood, we came together, and you can see it change. And at the end of the day, as long as we all on the same page, we can make big things happen.
Your dad, Charlie Brown, right?
Yeah.
Grandmother's Mary, right?
Yeah.
His grandmother, Mary, and my mom, all his family, he don't even know this. All our family is from Williamsburg, Virginia. And his grandmother, Mary, and my mom are second cousins.
Yeah.
No, well, he'll tell you, Charlie Brown, I've been knowing Rhonda and them since I was a little boy. His dad was a hooper. He don't even know that.
That boy said he
Like, boy, yeah, that's Teresa's son. That's Sean Springs.
We're going to have to fact check Blue, man. Blue might be here tell him.
When I say that, well, watch this.
Nah, he
His dad
right.
was a hooper.
Yeah.
He was a basketball player. He'll tell you Rhonda, Seneca, all them. His grandma Mary, my mom, they talk. Watch, he's going to say my grandma on Facebook all the time, right?
Sure do.
He gonna go home and call his dad like, you didn't tell me that was my
You ain't tell me
my cousin played in the league.
Third cousin named Bluefoot.
I ain't even know that.
Hey, you a Bluefoot cousin. That's that's his
I ain't
nickname.
even know that.
Your cousin's nickname is Bluefoot.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So anyway, so how it goes, like, so Dyami's family, our family is from what we call East Williamsburg, Williamsburg. So the Lassiters and the Browns and all them, they grew up. So my mom and his grandma grew up together. They all best friends and stuff like that. Yeah. So I didn't even know till they came up here and they told me, he was like, that's Rhonda and Charlie Brown and
Man, I thought you were going to bring up some different facts.
and Carla.
You see how he walked in here? He was confident.
Yeah.
I know.
Like when I tell you, I know because
I know all about this boy.
Because I've been knowing when I was a little boy. Charlie is much older than me and played basketball and stuff. But I was a little boy, so I just remember them. His been known for hooping.
Go ahead and date yourself, man. Go ahead and date yourself.
So you know Soup, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know Soup for
No,
real.
I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
So that's an interesting fact. Our family's like a tie there.
That's
so
cool.
Hey,
You never know what you'll get on the Players Club.
that's what happens, man.
Hey, Dyami, we appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, you've been here before. We like to have all our guests sign this football for us, man. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I know this. I can't wait to see how you guys playing and you ball out in Detroit on Saturday night.
Stay tuned.
On that fast turf.
Stay tuned.
Hey, you hot, man. I mean, keep up the work. You playing with speed, playing with like confidence and everything.
Hey, you know what? Last week I said we'll see y'all next week, same time. I'm going to make another prediction. We'll see y'all next week, same time on the Players Club.